Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance, and this is an M53-55, the Tier 9 American SPG, and we're on the north spawn of Highway. Now, the commander of this vehicle is Chris Norman. Yep, it's the gentleman with the same name, and his M55, because that is an ancient howitzer, says Hell on Wheels on the side, and it has a Stars and Stripes. Right. And Chris is pulling into the trees and using them for cover. Okay, he's happy. Yep, he's got his cover position. Now, he's looking for a target, not turned up yet. Now, some of you may not know, there's a bit of history, a bit of information for you. The M53 had a 155mm howitzer, and that's the stock gun that you get on this SPG. But that was exclusively used by the US Marines and actually saw service in Vietnam, whilst the 8-inch howitzer on the M55, which is the top gun, and he gets 122 hit points off that T100. The 8-inch howitzer on the M55 was for the US Army. They liked a bigger hit, whereas the US Marines liked something that was lightweight, able to move about and be transported by aircraft to the various zones that they were fighting. And of course it was used in Vietnam. That's that little bit of history for you. It's aiming for a Centurion 7-1 down at the far end near the town. He's using that ridgeline to poke his nose up. An M46 pattern, and he's taken out before he can fire. Now that's just so annoying. But there's a T28. He's sitting on top of that ridgeline, shooting at the tanks on Chris Norman's team. Just waiting for him to remain stationary, because when he does, that round went in from the bat chat. There is a bat chat on his team. In fact, it's a bat chat 155-58. No, lost sight of the T28. That's annoying, because he's going to have to be stationary to shoot. Now, last time anyone was seen on the ISU 152 is up on this hill. Got a force of 3 tanks moving over. They should spot these enemies very, very shortly. Chris Norman's getting ready to provide support fire for them as they see the enemy tanks. The ISU 152 is going to be there. There's an Object 704. They're lining him up, zeroing in the dialing. Oh, he's not. He's decided to go for the T28. Oh no, he didn't. He didn't back into that spot. He thought that he was going to back in, but he didn't. So the round was wasted. Oh, it's such a pity. Huge crater. Has got a very big splash radius. The 8-inch howitzer. It's got a 5.34 splash radius. Okay, it's Object 261, the enemy Arty, and he's on the move. Can he get him? He's leading him for a shot, but he's got another 5 seconds to go before he's reloaded. It looks like the Object 261's going for the dip. Rounds out. Wow! Kill shot! It looked like that shell hit the Object 261 directly, took him out the game. So that's his first kill, and he's taken one of the enemy Arty out the game. Now there is another enemy Arty out there, and that's a GW Tiger, but he's just been taken out. Now the enemy seems to be doing fairly well in the city. And Chris Norman's aiming for that T10. It looks like his team have captured the enemy cap area, but rather than cap, they're actually proceeding to attack the enemy in the city, cornering them in the southeast corner of the map. And that round goes in and damages the T10, does 3 critical hits, but it's not enough to take him out. In fact, actually, I'd say now, the way the enemy's boxed in, would probably be a good idea for both of the Arty to make a move over to the enemy cap area, because the last place the enemy's going to look, and they could put the cap on whilst their tanks are dealing with these enemy heavies as they're trying to make their way to their cap. Because if they stay where they are, they're going to get taken out. It's going after the E100. Gets a hit. 321 hit points, 2 critical hits. Yep, I think Chris Norman's decided that he's going to get out of there. Those enemy are getting too close. There's not enough tanks between them and their cap. And they need to relocate. And I think the Batchats decided the same thing. They're going to relocate. They're going to head over to the other side of the battlefield. It means temporarily his own team won't have any fire support. Oh, it says "Welcome to Hell" on the side of his Arty. Now they're trying to deal with that Centurion, but he's a bit close to the rest of his team. So if he fires, he would damage his own team. But he can put shots into these tanks here. He's going to go for the E100. He's indicating his target, lining him up, and rounds out. Oh, direct hit! 292 hit points, 2 critical hits. That was a really good shot, especially considering he was on the move at the time. Yep, that E100, he's headed straight for the cap. And it looks to me like the Batchat 155-58 is following in the valley, but not getting over this side of the map, which is a bit of a mistake, I would say, but maybe he thinks that he can actually provide fire support. Now, it's 4-3, four tanks on Chris Norman's side, but the enemy's got 3 heavies, a T10, an E100, and the other one, which we can't see at this moment, is the IS-3. All they've got in the way of tanks is a Star 2 down in the city, and a Sheridan, which is up near the cap. And of course the Batchat is near the cap, but he's down in the valley. It's going to be difficult for him to fire up onto the hill, because he's basically got the ridgeline in the way. So he really needs to drive further west to ensure he can get a proper aim on the target. Meanwhile, Chris is making his way to the enemy cap, and that's a perfect solution because the enemy are just too far away to do anything about it. They couldn't drive back in time in order to reset the cap, and so Chris is making absolutely positive and certain that his team's going to win. Okay, he's parked in the cap and he's now capping. Meanwhile, the T10 is still in the city. Now maybe he's actually realised that the danger they're in. He's just taken out the Star 2. That T10 may change direction. And Chris has put a round in, but he just got some damage, 238 hit points off the T10. But that T10 is going to have to make his way back in the next minute if he's going to interrupt the cap. We don't know where he is. The Sheridan's looking for him. I think he's going to try and spot him. The E100's still in the town. There he's headed south, the E100. I reckon the T10 is making his way up here to the cap right now. The question is, will he get here in time? 50 seconds. The Sheridan needs to spot to find out where the T10 is, so that Chris Norman can lay some shells down on him. That might slow him down a little. Oh, they just lost the Sheridan. Now you can see the E100. He's lining up a shot, but I think that's going to hit the wall. And the E100 is staying in an Arty safe position. Now the problem is the reload time. You see, it's going to take Chris 35 seconds to reload. Oh, he shotguns the T10. That was a brilliant shot there. He shotguns him. And he's relocating. He's not leaving the cap. He's only got 6 seconds to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He's done it! He managed to get the cap. That T10 tried to get back in time, but by shotgunning him, he slowed him down. He must have done some critical hits that really made the difference. And he's managed to cap out and win for his team. When there's only 2 Arty left on their team against 2 heavy tanks. Would you believe it? Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. Well, it's a third-class tanker for Chris Norman in the M53-55. He also picked up a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 10 in that one. And he gets an Invader medal. The Invader because he managed to cap out and got at least 80 cap points in the process. Winning the battle for his team. Well, he didn't do a whole lot of damage, only about half the damage the top scorer on the team did, Sheridan. He only managed to get 1,641 hit points, but they were the most important hit points because getting that T10 certainly slowed the enemy down. And when it came to kills, he was joint third with only 1 kill. Of course, that was the Object 261. And when it came to base XP, he came 5th with 662. But let's have a look at the detail. Well, he fired 8 rounds, got 2 direct hits, 2 penetration, 6 splash damage, damage of 1,641 hit points, of which 1,224 were up more than 300 meters. Obviously, the close one was that T10, where he managed to whack him and really badly damage him whilst he was trying to interrupt and reset the cap. He hit 5 of the enemy, but killed 1 of them. He did 7 stuns in total, and he managed to get 100 capture points. On a premium count, he earned 26,442 credits, and after his ammunition resupply of 64,000, he was left with a deficit of 24,866 credits. But he received 993 experience points. It was ×5 weekend, so he managed to make 5,442 experience points in total. And I think it doesn't really matter that he took away a deficit, because he won the battle, and he won it in the most spectacular way by shotgunning the enemy at the last moment. So well done indeed, Chris Norman. If you enjoyed this replay, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel, and hopefully it'll be your replay that I'll be featuring in our next video.